Entering week 3 of the season, who has more national buzz than Colorado? Nobody. Fresh off beating TCU in a dominant win over Nebraska last week, Colorado sitting inside the top 20, and they're hosting another big game this weekend as Colorado State comes to town. Guess who else is taking notice? Recruits. Now, this week's visitor list in Boulder isn't huge, but it does have some major targets that I want to go over. Take a look at 4-star athlete Boo Carter, committed to Tennessee, 4-star offensive tackle Jordan Seaton, 4-star defensive lineman Jeremiah Beeman, he's committed to Alabama, and then we got an elite one, 5-star quarterback Bryce Underwood, the number 1 prospect in the 2025 class. All right, Colorado fans, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button. We started a new page. We used to be over at the On3 channel. Now, we got a channel only dedicated to recruiting. So join the fun and hop on, hit that subscribe button for me. All right, let's talk about Boo Carter. He was out in Boulder twice this offseason, once in January, then again in April. He goes 5'10", 180 from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Now, he committed to the Volunteers on June 16th. He was there last weekend. No reason to think things are really that shaky with his recruitment, but getting the number 9 ranked athlete back on campus for a third time will raise some eyebrows. Now, let's see what can happen down the road. We got 4 months until the early signing period. Maybe Deion gets him back on campus for an official visit right before signing day. Prime's just got to keep chopping wood here on this recruitment. All right, let's move down the list to the big man, Jordan Seaton. We broke the news right here on the Inside Scoop last week that Seaton would bypass a visit to UF. He was supposed to be in Gainesville for that big matchup when the Gators and Volunteers square up in Gainesville, but instead, he's going to go out to Boulder, the number 2 ranked tight end in America. He told me he's fired up. He can't wait to see the pregame festivities, just what a packed stadium looks like out in Colorado. Seaton is 6'5", 295, and he's been blowing up his senior year at IMG. He was at Alabama last week, and like I said, canceled that UF visit for this weekend. But there's some competition. Ohio State's heavily involved. Oklahoma's involved. FSU and Oregon as well. Now, Seaton has not used this official visit yet, but he told me that this trip could lead to that. He says, if I have a good time, and he knows he will, he said that he will likely set up an official visit. Now, there's also no timeline for a decision. I'm thinking, just talking to him, I'm thinking November or December. He doesn't seem like he's in any rush. He doesn't seem like he has any favorites. I think Seaton could take this thing the distance. All right, the next target on the list is Jeremiah Beasley. He's from Birmingham, Alabama, and he's committed to the in-state Crimson Tide. And even though he's been committed to Bama since May, he's looking around. Beasley set up an official visit to Auburn this fall and is considering others. Again, another instance where maybe this unofficial visit, he has a great time and sets up an official visit. That's kind of what I expect to happen. And I think Seaton and Beasley, at least for the 2024 class, are easily the 2 most important visitors in Boulder this weekend. And I say that because big men in the trenches are just tough to come by. I mean, you saw what Deion did in the transfer portal this offseason. He was able to do some work in the trenches, but not as much as he'd like to. So I think replenishing the cupboard at the high school level is probably ideal, so you can just go into the portal and grab a couple pieces here or there, but not expect the entire roster to be made up of portal guys. So then we move on to Bryce Underwood, the 5-star plus quarterback out of Belleville, Michigan, was not expected to be at this game. He was expected to be at the USC game in 2 weeks, but instead, I don't know why, moves the visit up. Maybe he just couldn't wait. The 6'3", 210-pound quarterback has been keeping a close eye on Coach Prime and the Buffaloes. After that win against TCU, he set that visit for September 30th, but now he'll be in even earlier than that. Number 1 quarterback and the number 1 player in the country in the 2025 class is now a real target to come to Colorado, and they're getting him on campus at a great time because this is a pivotal point in his recruitment. Michigan and LSU, they seem to be the names tied most to Underwood to this point, but Deion and Colorado have emerged as a real threat. And I say it's pivotal because Underwood is set to make his commitment on January 6th. So even though he's a 2025 prospect, we're only about 4 months from his decision. So visits like these can make a huge impact. Now, there's 2 names on the list that I take that back. There's two names that are not on the list that I want to talk about, and those are commitments to Colorado. That's Aaron Butler and Zycarl Lewis, both committed to Colorado, but still very important nonetheless to this big visit weekend, because I think peer-to-peer recruiting is incredibly important. I think it's one thing to hear it from a coach to tell you why Colorado's great and why you should go there, but I think it's another thing when you hear it from a peer who's committed to Colorado. And I think Zycarl Lewis and Aaron Butler will do a great job helping the staff recruit some of these big-time targets. So, those are kind of the names that I'm watching for this weekend's game against Colorado State. Stay tuned for any more surprise visitors. I'm not ruling any out. You never know with Coach Prime. He always has something up his sleeve. But even if there are no surprises, the list of visitors this weekend is very impressive. And I think we only see more and more top recruits making their way to Boulder as the season progresses. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.